evaluate the integral of square root of 1 minus x over x dx from 1/2 to 1. So I will distribute first the radical to the numerator and the denominator. I mean the square root. So I will have the integral from 1/2 to 1 of the square root of 1 minus x over the square root of x dx. And then I will use substitution. I will let's say t equal to the square root of x. Removing the square root in the x, I will square both sides of the equation. So I will have t square equal to the square root of x square. So canceling out the square root with the square, we will have x. Then we can get the derivative of both sides. So derivative of t squared, that's 2t dt equals the derivative of x dx. But since we use substitution, we should also get the new values of the lower and upper limit in terms of the new variable t. So if the original lower limit is 1/2, we substitute the value of x in the substitution that we have. T is equal to square root of x. So t will be equal to the square root of x, which is 1/2. So that's equal to square root of 1/2 is the same as square root of 1 over the square root of 2, which is equal to 1 over the square root of 2. Or rationalizing this, multiply both numerator and denominator by square root of 2. It's equal to 1 times square root of 2 square root of 2 over square root of 2 times square root of 2. That's square root of 4 or 2. So this will be the new lower limit in terms of t, square root of 2 over 2. For the upper limit, if x is equal to 1, substitute here, we will have t is equal to the square root of x, which is 1. T is equal to 1. Okay? So if we try to substitute all the values, the new integral in terms of t will be integral of, so the new lower limit in terms of t will now be square root of 2 over 2. And the new upper limit in terms of t will now be equal to 1. And then for the integrand, we will have the square root of 1 minus x. So the square root of 1 minus x, but we should represent or represent x in terms of t. So we know that x from the substitution, x is equal to t squared. So we will have 1 minus x equal to t squared. Then over the square root of x, which is t. And the dx is equal to 2t dt. Then we can cancel out the t here, right? So I can put the constant in front. So we will have 2 integral of the square root of 1 minus t squared dt from square root of 2 over 2 to 1. So this will be the new definite integral. But how can we, how can we evaluate this integral? If we have the square root of a constant minus a variable squared, we can try to apply the trigonometric substitution. So using trigonometric substitution, remember one case of the trigosub is if we are given the integral of the square root of a squared minus u squared du, we can let u equal to a sine theta. So we can pattern the given integral to this form, right? Because we have a constant minus a variable square. So you can write 1 here in a squared form as 1 squared. So comparing the given integral to this form, we will have a equal to the constant base 1 and we will have u equal to the variable base t. So if we apply the trigo substitution, we will let u, which is equal now to t, equal to a, which is 1, times sine theta. Or simply, t is equal to sine theta. So we should also get the derivative. Derivative of t dt. Derivative of sine theta is positive cosine theta d theta. But since we have a substitution, we should also find the new lower and upper limit in terms of theta, right? So if the original lower limit in terms of t is square root of 2 over 2, we plug in that value in the substitution. T is equal to sine theta. So substitute t with the square root of 2 over 2 equal to sine theta. Then solve for theta here. We can apply inverse sine, right? So theta is arc sine of the square root of 2 over 2, which we know as equal to what? Pi over 4. Because sine of pi over 4 or sine 45 degree is square root of 2 over 2. For the new upper limit, if the original upper limit in terms of t is 1, so I substitute here, t is 1 equal to sine theta. Again, getting the inverse sine, theta is equal to arc sine of 1, which is equal to arc sine of 1 is pi over 2 or 90 degree, right? Because sine pi over 2 is 1. Now, substituting, the new integral in terms of theta will be, so the new lower limit is pi over 4, while the new upper limit is pi over 2. And then, the integrand will be square root of 1 square, or simply 1, minus t. T is sine theta with the square. So we'll have negative sine squared theta. And then the dt is cosine theta d theta. With a constant 2 in front, right? So simplifying further, we will have 2 integral from pi over 4 to pi over 2 of the square root of 1 minus sine squared theta using Pythagorean identity, that's cosine squared theta times cosine theta d theta. So 2 integral from pi over 4 to pi over 2, square root of cosine squared theta is cosine theta times cosine theta d theta. Then we multiply 2 times the integral from pi over 4 to pi over 2 of cosine times cosine squared theta. How to evaluate the integral of cosine squared theta? We can apply the reduction formula. For cosine squared theta, it's equal to 1/2 times 1 plus cosine 2 theta d theta. So we can put this 1/2 in front. So we multiply 2 times 1/2, that's 1. Or no need to write the coefficient of 1. So we will just have integral from pi over 4 to pi over 2 of 1 plus cosine 2 theta d theta. Now, let's evaluate the integral. So, the integral of 1 or the integral of d theta is theta. Then, plus the integral of cosine 2 theta. So, that will be 1 over the coefficient of theta, which is 2. And then, the integral of cosine is positive sign. And then, just copy 2 theta. And then, let's evaluate this from the lower limit to the upper limit from pi over 4 to pi over 2. So, we will substitute first the upper limit to every theta here. So, substitute theta with pi over 2 plus 1/2 sine of 2 times theta. Again, substitute with pi over 2. And then next, minus, this time substitute to every theta, pi over 4, the lower limit. So we have quantity theta, substitute with pi over 4, plus 1 half sine of 2 times theta pi over 4. And then we simplify. So pi over 2 plus 1 half sine of 2 times pi over 2. So cancel out the 2. We have sine of pi. And sine of pi is 0, right? Then minus pi over 4 plus 1 half sine of 2 times pi over 4. So cancel out the 2. 4 becomes 2. So we have sine of pi over 2, which is, so let's simplify to 1. Sine pi over 2 is 1, right? So therefore, we have pi over 2 plus 1 half times 0. It's just 0. No need to write. Then distribute this negative sign. So we will have minus pi over 4. And then negative of 1 half times 1, negative 1 half. Then we can combine this pi over 2 minus pi over 4. So that's equal to pi over 4, right? Then minus 1 half. So this is the final answer. Pi over 4 minus 1 half.